Hello everyone and welcome back to another video about Assassin's Creed. So today we have another discussion type video, and today we're going to be talking about Assassin's Creed Unity, specifically why it's an alright game and not as bad as I used to say it was. Because if you guys know my channel from like this time last year, I really hated Unity. I would like slander it as the worst game, like one of the worst games I've ever played. And over the last recent months, playing it a bit more, I've realised that it's not a bad game, and I definitely should cut it some slack. It's quite fun. It's by no means a great game, and it's by no means the best Assassin's Creed game, but it's fun. It's not an amazing game. It's enjoyable though. So today I'm going to be going over the reasons why Assassin's Creed Unity deserves a little bit more slack. You know, we need to cut it some slack. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video, guys. So the first thing I want to talk about regarding Assassin's Creed Unity is the overall world of the game. Now, you guys can clearly tell straight away when looking at this game, the graphics of this game are beautiful, and they still really hold up to today's open world standards. The graphics in Assassin's Creed Unity were actually so good, and the world was so detailed that, like, the game didn't run very well on consoles. You know, it couldn't really hold a stable 30 FPS, and sometimes in certain situations, it still can't nowadays. Even though they release loads of patches and stuff, consoles still fail to run the game, and it's also very poorly optimized for PC, but the graphics are great, and you really have to appreciate Ubisoft's effort, because they clearly did try and make an awesome game world for everyone, but they just didn't take into consideration the optimization of the game and also the different consoles it's going to be released for. And maybe their game might be a bit too powerful for it, especially considering there can be hundreds of NPCs on screen at once. You know, they should have taken that into consideration, but you have to admire their ambition for the game. They did want Assassin's Creed Unity to be truly a next-gen game for Assassin's Creed, and sadly it just fell short. Also, every building in the certain region of Paris that you get to travel around is 1-to-1 scale and is therefore the same size as it would have been in real life, especially buildings like the Notre Dame and stuff like that. And not to mention that a lot of the buildings in Paris are enterable, which is really cool. With Assassin's Creed Syndicate, they had to take enterable buildings out because of the fact that London was so big, and also in Assassin's Creed Unity, this means they had to create detailed indoor environments, which obviously was a lot more power intensive on consoles, and it did contribute to the reason why the game lagged so much. But yeah, Assassin's Creed Unity is definitely a very beautiful game. I love the graphics in that game, still think it holds up to different open world games nowadays, and the world that was built up in the game was definitely an impressive one with lots of details all over the place. You can definitely tell that Ubisoft did want this to be the next game, official Assassin's Creed's arrival to next gen, but in some aspects it just didn't deliver, and it's just because Ubisoft was so ambitious with that game. Something else that I thought was really well done in Assassin's Creed Unity was the combat. Now, I've said this in previous videos before, that I actually think the combat in Assassin's Creed Unity is the closest that we've ever got to a combat system that I think would be really good in Assassin's Creed. It was very different to Assassin's Creed 4 and Assassin's Creed 3 and Rogue, whereas they all shared a very similar combat system. Assassin's Creed Unity took a completely new take on it, where it encouraged stealth during combat high areas. So you couldn't take on like 5 guards at once, because you would get fucked up in the early game. Obviously, if you have a lot of health and a lot of medicine and a lot of weapons that are high level nowadays, you can take on basically as many guards as you want, especially if you spam smoke bombs. But when the game first came out, it was very difficult to actually take on loads of guards. I remember dying so many times, and that's really the first time that's happened in an Assassin's Creed game. I never used to die like in the Ezio games. You didn't die that much. The same with Assassin's Creed 4 and 3. But in Unity, dying was definitely a more common thing, and I think this was good because it meant that the combat required a lot more skill. Also, I did like the system of parrying and getting the perfect parry so you could stun your target. It was quite fun, you know, when you mastered the combat and had a load of different abilities that you could use. Well, I say a load of different abilities. There was about 4 abilities. It was just very satisfying when you could take on a massive group of guards at once, because it actually required a certain degree of skill instead of just being able to spam combo kill over and over again like the Assassin's Creed series once was. And I'd like to see a combat system more similar to Assassin's Creed Unity's in the next Assassin's Creed game, because it really was good, and I do enjoy the combat in Assassin's Creed Unity when it works, because in co-op, the combat doesn't work. It really doesn't, because the servers are so bad, you know, it's not supported very well, and, you know, the enemies kind of just fly around, and when you do kill them, sometimes they freeze there for a long amount of time, and you're kind of stuck attacking their body, and yeah, the combat definitely isn't perfect in Assassin's Creed Unity, such as the fact that there's no way to dodge bullets when you're out of combat. You always get hit by them. But, you know, there's definitely some things that are great in the game, but there's also a lot of things that are bad in terms of the combat too. I think the gear system in Assassin's Creed Unity, it also was great, how you could, like, have so many different combinations of armor and outfits. Now, I hated this. Like, this time last year, I thought it was shit. I thought that's not how Assassin's Creed should do things. But recently, since I've come to terms with the fact that I think Assassin's Creed should become more of an RPG game, and especially after all the different leaks specifying this, that it will be more of an RPG style game, I definitely think that they should bring this type of customization back for Assassin's Creed Empire or Assassin's Creed Origins, only more in depth. I mean, you're probably asking, how can it be more in depth? But like with different tiers of gear, as said in the last video, if you guys want to go watch a video about Assassin's Creed Origins and everything that I think about it, you guys should go and watch my last video on Assassin's Creed, my vision of Assassin's Creed. I worked really hard on it, and yeah, I just don't want to kind of fucking talk about Assassin's Creed Origins too much in this video because it's about Unity. But I definitely think that if they were to make another Assassin's Creed game and it was more RPG based, they should bring back a system very similar to Assassin's Creed Unity with loads of different combinations and loads of different weapons and armor that you can use, because it really was cool, and you could specify to your playstyle. So if you wanted to be stealthy, you used the Phantom gear and you were more stealthy. You wanted to be all heavy and big, you used the medieval gear. It was just a very cool way of doing things. However, I reckon they could have gone more in depth if they were given more time. I thought Assassin's Creed Unity also had the best approach to quests with the various different Paris stories. Those were very interesting, and even had a different string of quests that you could do for one. It would kind of like go out into like a little quest line, and I think this was the best way of doing things. It did make things very interesting with different quest lines and all the different characters that you meet during the Paris stories. Obviously, they weren't the best, they weren't the most in-depth, but they were certainly a step forward in the right direction for Assassin's Creed, in my opinion. And, you know, there was a quest tracker in the game. You could track various different quests, and you could select different quests that you wanted to do. It was a very good system, and I don't know why they took it out in Assassin's Creed Syndicate, but it should definitely make a return in Assassin's Creed Origins. And with the screenshots that we've seen with, you know, Assassinate the Crocodile and the various different quests, it does make sense that this system will come back in the next game. Lastly, I want to mention the co-op. Now, you guys are probably wondering, why the fuck is the co-op on this list? Because it doesn't work. And I agree, the co-op in Assassin's Creed Unity does not work whatsoever, and that's part of the charm of it. That's one of the reasons why I enjoy it so much. It was quite ambitious for Ubisoft to set up a fully dedicated server and all that good stuff for co-op in Assassin's Creed, and a lot of fans had asked for it for years. You know, a co-op system. We want a fucking co-op system where we can play with our friends. And overall, it was very cool. You could do heists, you get loads of money, you could do missions, like different little co-op missions, and you could also just do free roam with your friends, and that was always something that I really wanted in Assassin's Creed, and they put it in, but it just wasn't executed great, because as usual, Ubisoft servers suck absolute dick, and they can never maintain them properly, so the game just kind of went to shit. And whenever you play co-op now, it's just a mess. It's a shit show. It's fucking hilarious, and that's one of the reasons why co-op is so fun. It's just fun to do little fun tages on. I'm definitely gonna do some fun tages on co-op with some other people at some point, and it's really fun to stream as well. That's something that I learned. It's very fun to stream Assassin's Creed Unity co-op. The time flies by so fucking quickly, and it's a very fun thing to play. I'd definitely like to see it come back in the future. Maybe not in the next Assassin's Creed game, but in the future, I'd love to see co-op come back. And, you know, they didn't even add multiplayer or co-op in Assassin's Creed Syndicate, so, you know, having co-op as an extra feature, it's better than having nothing and just having the single player of Syndicate, because I'm pretty sure I'd still play Syndicate now if there was a co-op feature in it, even if it was the same with Unity and didn't work very well, because it's just so funny, and it's fun as fuck to play with people. So that's the end of the video, guys. I just wanted to make this video kind of talking about Assassin's Creed Unity, because overall it is a very fun game to play. I do enjoy it, hence the reason why I have a fucking Funtage series on it that I do all the time. I do need to do another Assassin's Creed Unity Funtage at some point as well. If you guys want to recommend anything that I do, you know, different missions, feel free to do so in the comment section below. But without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and end the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to go ahead and like and subscribe for more Assassin's Creed content in the future. And also remember to comment down in the comment section below telling me what you guys think of the video and what you guys think of Assassin's Creed Unity. Do you enjoy it? I know there's a lot of people out there that love the game. I was a Unity hater, but I've realized that it's the best of the worst games. You know, you've got Assassin's Creed 3 Rogue Syndicate, and Unity, and those are the worst games in the series, and I do think Unity is the best of those 4. That's just my personal opinion. I know there's loads of people that love Rogue. I'm going to do a video on Rogue at some point. Watch out for that. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.